It all has to do with how you've stayed in shape throughout your entire life.
Exactly. And round is more or less a shape.
Generally considered shape-like.
I guess circular would be the shape, but
like a
into
weeble.
Semantics.
My mother was a weeble. She hadn't fallen down in years.
You know why? Because that's a good thing. My Pastor Lawson's wife fell and had surgery for 2 broken bones and a dislocated ankle.
Poor thing.
What were you trying to do? And apparently she was trying to climb Everest, and I didn't know. So.
Well, and you'd think they'd tell you that's a pretty big deal.
I would think.
Yeah. So we're in mailbag now.
Quicksand, I got a story I got to share.
Okay, do it.
It's so cute. Remember when we were growing up, quicksand.
Is this Tony cute or Scott cute?
Tony cute. There's no
poop.
Scat humor in here.
Yeah. You go right ahead.
Remember when we were growing up, quicksand, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tarzan movies, Westerns.
I saw Tarzan in quicksand. I saw The Lone Ranger in quicksand.
Yep.
And Gilligan in quicksand.
Oh, yeah, where just the hat remains. Isn't it amazing? That show lasted, 3 years?
And
iconic.
I've watched every episode, I don't know how many times, and I love it.
Hundreds would be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't it the Dalai Lama who told us he loved Gilligan's Island?
Might have been.
Yeah, when he was at KS that one time. What a treat.
Right. Yep. So anyway, quicksand used to be a big deal in the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of 2 things would happen. The heroine or the hero would fall into the quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other would find a way, usually just barely before they were underneath, to pull them out. It always looked wet and oatmeal-y, by the way.
Well, it's because it was wet and oatmeal-y.
But it's not usually. It's just really soft sand. And like if you're in the desert and hit one, not much liquid. Anyway, let's talk about Mitchell O'Brien.
Mitch
was out on a sunset walk on Lake Michigan.
Thump, thump, thump.
They're out there on the beach.
We're doing Lake Michigan again.
I'm beginning to think. We have the Bermuda Triangle.
We have that, Singapore, Michigan was plundered of all its trees and now
there's something, sand. I think it's Michigan.
Yeah, I think it is.
I used to say all the trees lean to the east because Wisconsin sucks, but I could be a state off. Anyway, Mitch was out on a sunset walk on Lake Michigan Beach with his coworker, Brianna Sika. No, they are not dating. They were just out there to gather up some Leland bluestones. When crossing the ground in front of a water runoff, O'Brien suddenly sunk. And it wasn't a gradual sunk. It was like waist deep now in wet sand.
Junk.
Tried to free himself, couldn't. She tried to help, couldn't. So after struggling for a while and realizing it is the 21st century, they used their cell phones, dialed 911. Rescuers arrived to do some digging and pull out O'Brien.
You know what would have been better?
If
they would have just grabbed a vine.
If only they could have found like a vine or a low tree branch.
Yeah, and a horse.
It's like Michigan. They probably could have found an old engine somewhere on the beach.
There you go.
I'm not sure it would have started.
Well, if it was a Ford, there's no way.
Now, apparently during the emergency call, the words boyfriend and girlfriend were mentioned. Which they are definitely said they weren't.
We're not. We're just friends who are boys and girls.
But they are now.
They have got
smooching privileges. O'Brien was free. They did what all couples apparently do now. They're Facebook friends and now Facebook relationship.
See, all it takes is a little quicksand.
Yep. And, Meta.
Who knew?
How did we ever do this? How long have we been married?
Coming up at the end of next month.
Wasn't meant to be a trick question. 45. Because we'll be 44 in October.
Yeah, that's right.
And we didn't have Facebook too, but we were old codgers.
Right. We'd already entered the cogitatorium.
Remember when we were like computer geniuses for about 20 minutes?
Man, we knew everything about the internet that nobody
for about a minute.
Knew. Yeah.
Anyway.
Is it plugged in?
There are a couple. Is it turned on? Yep. Plug it in. Yeah. Computers and radio were a lot alike back then. Just so you know, there will be no more loving relationships like this formed. Oh, not that, loving relationships have been outlawed or anything.
Right.
But they're putting up warning signs around the runoff so that no other couples have to go through this.
I think it's a surefire thing, and especially if you're a guy like me who needs all the help he can get.
See? Right?
She felt sorry for him. He almost died.
If Robin wouldn't have blown out a sneaker, I'd still be single.
Yeah, he thought that. What'd you do? Repair it?
Actually, I blew out the sneaker.
Oh.
When we bought our house.
Yeah.
Being we are who we are. My wife is one of the finest natural athletes I have ever seen in my life in person.
By the way, I've seen her move. Yes.
And she just is.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter, and like my son, man, whatever, you give her a sport to play and it'll take her about 30 seconds to figure it out. Mm-hmm. At 36 years old, at one of Kara's, her first softball picnic, they don't do dinners, it was softball.
Yeah, yeah.
And Aaron, I'm sorry, I forget your last name.
Budapest.
She was the stud pitcher.
Oh, okay.
And she said, "And you parents think you're good enough?" And Robin goes, "I'll try it."
Knowing full well.
And
Tony's going, watch this. Listen, I'm giving odds.
And Aaron was very good. I mean, nobody touched her, and Robin goes up there and fouls one off to the right, fouls another off to first base side, another off to the first base side, line drive up the middle.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah.
Come on, dear.
Pay up.
Use on me.
Yeah, I like it. So I ran across this little story that I just thought was hilarious. Guy says, I went to Taco Bell today, gave the lady a $50 bill. She took the money, put it on the counter, and used a marker to check, that marker they use sometimes to make sure it's real money. So she marks it, hands it back, and says, sir, I can't accept this. It's counterfeit. See this dark line? That means it's fake. And I told her, wow, this money's straight from the bank. She still handed it back to me, so I gave her another 50. Did the same thing, marked it, and said, yep, this one's counterfeit too. We may need to call the cops. I was a little shocked. Both of my $50 bills are fake?
Wait, now they're both from
the same bank.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So finally, he kind of looks at her, looks at the dark line.
I know the answer, I'll bet. Go ahead.
Ma'am, are you using a Sharpie? Stares at the marker for a long time. Yes, sir, I am.
Can I have one of those back?
I just love that. I fear for our existence.
But you pretty much robbed some poor cop of a bright spot in his day.
That would.
I mean, really, come on.
We've all run into people who come in and know. In fact, I've been guilty of this. In my self-righteousness and arrogance, thinking, I've got the answer to this. And
you are only self-righteous and arrogant when you're awake. We're sleeping.
Right. But other than that, I'm meek and mild and good-tempered.
You and Clark Kent are the ones that come right to mind.
And I've only yelled at 2 audience members in the 10 years the band's been together. So I think I'm doing pretty well.
Were they related to you?
No. No, they were just exceptionally rude. And so I said, here's how this works.
Why do you do that, by the way? I've never quite understood that. Why do people go to watch a show
and then be rude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's just people out there who are grumpy. So.
Well, I'm grumpy and wheezy.
And Stitch. We don't understand that.
That's Lilo.
So, back when this guy was a systems administrator for a bunch of Unix boxes. Now, you remember when we used to talk Unix and Linux and
oh, that kind of Unix. Okay.
Yeah, Unix. Sorry. Unix. Linux.
Could have been plural.
And it was
Unix?
Windows 3 or whatever.
I know. And everybody said you had to have Linus or Snoopy or something.
Yeah.
No, Linux. That was it.
And Linux had the penguin on it next to it.
Yes.
Anyway, a computer scientist came over to the guy and asks, I need you to reformat my CD. It's a Windows-based CD, and it won't work on a Unix box. I looked at him and said, you tried it already? Yes, that has to be why it's not working.
Well,
Looking over the CD and knowing that Unix will play anything,
yeah.
may I politely suggest it won't work because you've placed a sticker on the data side of the disk?
You could.
Scowled, grabbed the CD back, and stormed off. I've been that guy. Yeah, well, you found me out.
See, when you used to do that, I would actually put a mark on the CD when the little drawer came out.
Yep.
I would take my black Sharpie, which is useless, by the way, for identifying counterfeit bills. I would, when it slid out, I would just put a little mark on it so I knew which side was which. Because otherwise, they were pretty close.
Yeah, they could be. There were those that were.
And then there were, where you could either side.
Yeah. Yep. So
then I figured out I could just buy them where it has like the logo on the one side. It's like,
that's, boy, I can save a lot of Sharpie ink. Make sure the gal over at Taco Bell has it.
Yep. See, the Taco John's lady would never do that.
No. I used to do voiceovers for Taco John's anyway.
My son used to work at Taco John's.
I know. I asked him if he'd ever noticed me in any of their training videos, because that's what I voiced for him.
What did he say?
He said, "Who are you? How did you get in my house?"
That's about right.
Say hello to Terry Wayne George, Tone.
Hello, Terry Wayne George. As we refer to him, TWG.
TWG. New subscriber.
Mostly it's just the T-Dub, but only to his friends.
And to Rose McCarty.
Miss Rose.
And the Sydney and Shelby Show. Not kidding. Sydney and Shelby Show.
It's not my Shelby, is it?
No, it's not your... Does she know someone named Sydney?
I don't... Dude, she's almost 21. She probably knows a few people I don't know.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I know.
Sydney and Shelby Show
Lucille.
Is there
Riley's seal.
They're the famous Boxer Dog twins on YouTube.
What?
They're the famous Boxer Dog twins. Life and Times of My Puppies.
Oh. Sydney and
Shelby Show. And I'll bet it's cute as heck because boxers are they have more energy than anybody should have.
Driving to your house one day, actually more than one day.
Yeah.
As you come around that, is there still a bend in the road?
Yeah.
It's not really a turn. It's just a bend.
Yep.
That corner house at one point had the most gorgeous Malamute and Boxer.
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
And they would be out front every once in a while, and I would just kind of like, because they're my two favorite puppies.
Yeah, they're just beautiful.
Or any puppy that happens to be near me at the moment.
In fact, certain people I hate if they're on all fours. I'm kind of attracted to them then. Should we move on?
How about them twins? Do we have any comments?
No.
So we've met the new folks, done some stories, and you put your mouth in your foot.
Oh, baby. My back is better than I thought it was.
I think we're done.